I think one of perhaps the most important parts of any influencer marketing campaign or strategy is in the selection of influencers. And let's move into a little bit about how did you approach finding these influencers. And we got a lot of questions about this too in advance, including things like, how do you know if an influencer is going to drive sales? And can you predict that? How can you determine who's going to be a good long-term partner? So I'm throwing a lot of questions at you, but let's just sort of start with you. How did you approach finding influencers and to work with on this new platform for you?
Yeah, I mean, so we look at the more typical, I guess, quantitative metrics to say, like, one, do they have skincare affinity? Two, do they have affinity with Ulta? Because the ultimate goal is to drive sales to Ulta in the end. And then basic audience metrics, like, are they in the US? Do they have great engagement? We look to see, like, are they promoting a lot of other brands, and is that the right category that we want to be in? As like, oh, is it too mass? Is it too whatever? Are they promoting too much so that their content doesn't feel like it's authentic? So there's a lot of things like that we look at, and then we have a separate rubric that we looked at that measures them against our brand values, and I think that's the more important thing. Of course, you have to do your due diligence on the general metrics, but, like, are they a right fit for the brand? When people see them talking about Beekman, does that make sense to them? Does it feel right for them? Do they embody the brand attributes that we do have? That, like, do you represent kindness? Do they feel like we have a bunch of questions that we ask? Once we get through the vetting process of the more traditional metrics, we really sit down and look at everyone individually to see, do they embody the values of the brand? And then we make a decision. And then within that, there is a mix too. Like, we do want to make sure that, as we're building our skincare credibility, that we do have people who do have that skincare credibility. But we also thought it was really important that we didn't want to, use the same people that all the other brands were working with. So we wanted to, A, because they were already talking about bigger brands and they're a little more saturated, but B, like, we can tap into these people who have, millions of followers, like a Laura Lee Watts, who wasn't really talking at that time, or a Katie, about other beauty brands, and how impactful was it to have someone who isn't really in the beauty industry but talking about our products. And that turned out to be very successful for us, and who really truly do represent kindness in a way that a lot of people on TikTok did not at that time.